There's nothing not smart about turning the paper sideways. So I really need you to hear me when I say this. Just because you're neurodiverse, or you have a learning difference, or a coordination issue, doesn't mean you're not smart. So actually, you're correct. If you turn the paper completely sideways and only write on one side of the paper and refuse to cross your arm over your body to write, you might have something called a bilateral coordination issue. This does not mean that you're not smart, but I do understand that some people have what's called educational trauma. This essentially means that if anyone tells you that you are doing something wrong, you think that that person is calling you stupid. And that is not what I'm doing. My job, this whole room, this whole building, is dedicated to looking at how people do things and figuring out the best way that works for that person. There might be an individual where having the paper to the side is what works for them, and that's okay. But on average, it does show a coordination issue. Not to hyperanalyze your comment, but I can also tell, there is nothing that is not smart about using the page sideways. Simpler way to say that would be there's nothing wrong with tilting your paper. I don't sound awful, and you don't sound awful, but you do sound neurodiverse. You speak with a linguistic patterning that is diverse. That's not a problem. Also something that I wouldn't necessarily fix. Again, just because your paper is different, or the way you word things might be neurodiverse, doesn't mean you're not smart. Doesn't mean you're dumb. You're very smart. People that tilt their paper have coordination issues. They're very smart too. I'm just trying to adjust so people, on average, have better academic experiences. That's because I myself am neurodiverse. I have ADHD, OCD, and dyslexia. There's a form of it called APD, auditory processing disorder. That's why I love working with neurodiverse kids. I'm not calling any of you stupid. Promise. But you gotta, take a look at your emotional reaction here. I just say, tilting your paper is wrong. And you're like, oh my gosh, you sound awful. Like you have some clear emotional kind of This is a very reactive comment. You might want to look into some psychology or therapeutic help, kind of get that under control, because I'm not calling you stupid, but your reaction certainly feels like you've been attacked, right? I'm not attacking you. I have the